Hello, my name is Joshua Belfield, and today I'm presenting Spider-Man, the world's greatest hero. By way of introduction, I would challenge anyone who is listening to this to look up on Google or YouTube the most popular superhero. It'd be very hard to find any list that doesn't include Spider-Man period, as well as in the top 3 heroes of all time. There's a reason that Spider-Man is so popular. In fact, it is this presenter's opinion that Spider-Man is quite possibly one of the most popular, if not the most popular superhero ever created. Some of what I'll be talking about today that makes him so popular is his personable and relatable character design, as well as showing some evidence, the statistics of his success in our society and outside of it, as well as a reflection of society that is built into the character himself that makes him so engaging. Now, why is this relevant? Well, media reflects our society and gives us a better understanding of difficult topics. In a 2013 article, The Role of Media in the Construction of Public Belief in Social Change by the Journal of Social and Political Psychology by Catherine Harper and Greg Philo, states that mass media systematically edit and interpret the massive information, making some sense of the world for audiences. This is quite true, from both the simple stories we face to comic book heroes that we read about. Media informs us how to interpret the world. And as someone who has written quite a few stories, as well as engaged in collaborative storytelling over the past several years, I can attest to its influence, especially within the character of Spider-Man. Now, for the main body, I would like to open up with a quote from the author of Spider-Man, Stan Lee. In an interview with NPR in 2006, titled Stan Lee on Realism in the World of Comic Heroes, Stan Lee stated that, "I wanted to make him as realistic as possible. I thought it'd be even more interesting to make him a kid with the normal problems that so many teenagers have." Spider-Man, at his core, is a flawed hero. He makes the everyday mistakes and goes through the everyday struggles that we all do. He has to worry about getting the attention of his high school crushes, getting good grades, or taking care of his old Aunt May. This contrasts many of the heroes that were created during the time of his inception, like Bruce Wayne, who's rich beyond belief, or Superman, who is fawned over by Lois Lane. Instead, Spider-Man has to struggle with these things, and often doesn't succeed in achieving the goals he looks out for. In fact, even outside of his mundane life, in his superhero life, Spider-Man often loses many battles against his enemies, as well as one nasty encounter with the Green Goblin in Spider-Man 121, where he loses his love interest, Gwen Stacy. Though through the losses of his mundane life, as well as the losses of his superhero life, he never truly gives up. And that's what makes Spider-Man so engaging on a personal level, that you can relate to the things he experiences in his everyday life, as well as the struggle that he faces, both inwardly and outwardly. And through it all, when he never gives up, it gives many people the inspiration to never give up themselves, to always push forward and smile and keep moving, no matter how difficult certain things can get. Now, beyond this, Spider-Man is just statistically a very popular hero. Spider-Man has one of the most profitable solo superhero movie ever made. Box Office Mojo, in an undated article, Spider-Man No Way Home 2021, accessed November 13th, 2025, lists Spider-Man No Way Home as making $1.9 billion worldwide. The next solo superhero movie would be Black Panther, also listed in an undated Box Office Mojo article, Black Panther, accessed November 13th, 2025, as making $1.3 billion, still a substantial sum, but short $0.6 billion of Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man also has the most video game appearances. The Guinness World Records September 7th, 2018 article, Most Prolific Video Game Superhero, lists Spider-Man as having appeared in 38 video games. Quite a few. Rotten Tomatoes, undated article, 100 Best Superhero Movies, lists Spider-Verse as the #1 rated superhero film of all time, followed only by The Incredibles. Beyond this as well, I hope you can see by now how much he reflects the culture that he is in. Salvador Mundello's Spider-Man, Superhero in the Liberal Tradition, written in 1981, he states, "The Amazing Spider-Man was used skillfully to bridge the generation gap that was tearing the nation apart in the late 60s and early 70s. Spider-Man, from his very creation, has reflected the uncertainty of Vietnam in the 60s, as well as the censorship of comic books in the 1950s, and the character of J. Jonah Jameson, who was always trying to decry against Spider-Man and get him hated by all of society. But beyond this, Spider-Man reflects humanity itself." William Indyk, in his 2004 paper, Classical Heroes in Modern Movies, Mythological Patterns of the Superhero, states that heroes are simply ourselves, projected outwardly. Their stories are our stories, and their adventures are meaningful only to the degree we can identify with the hero's struggles and anxieties. In this sense, Spider-Man represents the known hero's journey archetype. This is why there's so much Spider-Man themed fan art and fan creations both inside and outside of the universe that allow fans to engage with the character in a much more personal way. Because he is relatable in his everyday life as well as his superhero life, so many people can find themselves connecting to him. And he's symbolic of the human nature and human condition itself, which is one of the many reasons he is so loved throughout history. Now, in conclusion, I hope it's plain to see why this superhero is so heavily loved by all, including yours truly. I hope that you can appreciate that through his reflection of society and the statistics surrounding his success, as well as the relatability that he has in his character, you can come to a greater appreciation of this character and understand why so many have come to love him. And hopefully next time you see a piece of media that features this superhero, you can have a little bit of a better appreciation for not just him, but also those who love the character so much, like myself. Thank you for your time.